Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new around here. Today we have another prediction video. We're busy with the prediction videos. We have the EU Winter Cup this weekend coming. So Regional 2 of the Winter Split, starting off with EU, and I just wanted to show the closed qualifier results. Obviously, as some of you will know, BDS did drop into the closed qualifiers. Now obviously, as expected, they finished top. They did have a couple of games that were taken from them in those matchups against Monaco and Endpoint, the 8 teams that are in there. So we're going to go over to the main event here and predict these games. So we're going to start off with Group A, of course, Carmine Corp, G1, Solary and SAR. Carmine Corp against SAR in the first match. For me, that's an easy sweep for Carmine Corp. No hesitation there. Carmine Corp at the moment, the best team in Europe, and it's going to be pretty comfortable for them in this group stage, I believe, because it's not the hardest group ever. Especially when you come over here, but we'll talk about that later. G1 against Solary next. For me, G1 just be a little bit too much for Solary. I think I always say this. In terms of speed, just raw pace and all that, G1 maybe just will smother Solary a little bit there. I'm going to give a game to Solary though. Next up, Carmine Corp against Solary, and I think this will be another sweep. Yep, Carmine Corp, another sweep for them. G1 against SAR next, and I think this will be a comfortable win for G1, but I'm going to go for another 3-1 win for them. And Carmine Corp and G1 here in the round 3 matchup. Am I going to go for a full group sweep for Carmine Corp? Well, I'm going to have them winning, but I'm not going to have a full sweep. I'm going to have 3-1 there to Carmine Corp. I think, like I said, it's a reasonably comfortable group for them, and so I think they're going to win comfortably 9-1. With a +8 games difference. Solary and SAR the final matchup here, and it's tough. I think I might give this one to SAR. You know, I don't want to because I love the players on Solary and I don't really know about too much of the SAR team. I know the players obviously on SAR, but I don't know the players too much. You know, obviously Solary, you want to see Kate up very peak and Chaussette doing well, but I'm going to stick to what I originally thought actually. And go with Solary 3-2. I did initially say SAR, I know that, but in my mind I was going to put Solary to win that one. But then I was going to change it, but I'm going to stick to my guns and say Solary, but in 5. It's going to be a tight game. Group B then, and in my opinion the group of death, without a doubt. I swear I almost threw up when I saw this group. I mean, it's just, look at it, it's just sickening. Moist, Quadrant, BDS and Tundra, all in one group. I do feel for Tundra, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, to have Moist, Quadrant, and then the reigning champs BDS, so okay, they're not looking as good as they were, but it's BDS, you never know with BDS, you know, they could just switch it on every suddenly, and I think they could, to be honest. With Monkey Moon's recent tweet, I read his tweet long that he put out, and it seems like he's got his head sort of back in the game. He was going through some struggling times, which is obviously sad to hear, but he said he's on the up, he's on the mend, he loves his team, he loves his teammates. So for me, there's only good things to come out of BDS from here on out. Anyway, let's predict the first matches then. Round 1, Moist against Tundra. I think that's going to be a sweep. I don't think Tundra are looking all that good lately. Not as good as they were initially. I absolutely love and rate Raziers. I think he's a brilliant player, but as a team, Tundra just not looking dangerous at all. In most recent, and they've only just got through the closed qualifiers as well, so yeah, I think that's going to be a sweep for Moist. The next match, Quadrant BDS, this is just hard to predict, and you might remember that I had Quadrant going out 0-3 in Regional 1, and obviously they completely proved me wrong. I absolutely slept on Quadrant, and I'm open and happy to put my hands up and admit that one. But do I think they can beat BDS here? Again, this could go either way because you just don't know what you're going to get with BDS at the moment. If BDS come out and play as BDS do, then they'll win. Simple as that. They'll beat anybody on their day. But can they beat Quadrant here? Do I think they're going to beat Quadrant? I'm going to have Quadrant losing this in 5. I'm going to go with BDS. It might be a bit of a reach or a bit of a desperate kind of attempt for me to say BDS winning that. I mean, obviously it's BDS, they can beat everybody, like I said, but they're not looking amazing lately, and Quadrant didn't look too bad in the last split. They didn't get as far as they would have liked, but they looked better than what I thought they would. Anyway, Moist BDS next up. 3-1 Moist. Moisture's just better than BDS at the moment, simple as that. And they will beat BDS 3-1. Quadrant against Tundra. I think this will be a sweep. I don't really know where I'm going to be able to find matches for Tundra, honestly. As much as I hate to say it, I don't know if I'm even going to give them a game, but we'll see. Moist Quadrant. I don't think this will be too close. I think we're going to go 3-1 again. And then BDS Tundra. I think it's another sweep. I'm sorry, I don't see where Tundra are going to get any games. Again, I've had plenty of teams. I've been right about a lot of things, I'll be honest. I was right about V1 going out as early as they did. But I've also had a lot of predictions where teams have proved me wrong entirely. So Tundra might do the same. But, you know, I've got to predict. I've got to go with what I think exactly will happen. And I think this is exactly what will happen. Obviously, I'm not going to be spot on. So, yeah, we'll see. Group C next up. Liquid against Much Delight in the first game. Much Delight, a team consisting of Larsa, or Lacer, not sure how to say it, Hibs and Simas. I don't know if they're going to be able to do too much here. I mean, Liquid are prone to dropping games, so I think I'll give Much Delight a game here. I'll give them a game. Vitality against Williams Resolve next. Vitality looking really good at the moment. Arguably top 3 in EU at the moment, in terms of how they're doing, how they're performing. Absolutely brilliant in the last regional, in the first regional. Losing to Carmine Cup in the final, of course, but they were really good. They were really, really good, and they've probably the most improved team at the moment, are Vitality. So I think they'll beat Williams, but Williams as well, a very improved team recently, looking quite dangerous, to be honest. So it's not going to be a sweep. Do you know what? I'm going to have it going to 5. I think Williams can take a couple of games there, but I think Vitality will just have that cutting edge, you know, a little bit more just to get them over the line before Williams Resolve. Next up is Liquid and Williams. Again, I think Williams are a dangerous team, and I'm not sure about Liquid at the moment. And this is EU, remember? Anything happens. I am having Williams here, 3-1 against Liquid. Vitality against Much Delight. For me, that's going to be a sweep for Vitality. Don't really need to explain why. I think Vitality are just a really good team. And Much Delight, you know, they're kind of a small fish there in this group, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, that's no disrespect. Of course, they're a great team. They wouldn't be here otherwise. But Vitality looking quite scary at the moment. And then Liquid against Vitality. I can only see Vitality winning this, to be honest. I think Liquid will turn it up a little bit. But I'm still going to have Vitality winning that in 5. Williams against Much Delight next. I'm going to have Williams sweeping that. And that's how I feel about that group. So I've got Vitality first, Williams second, Liquid third. Negative in games difference as well. Some of you probably disagree, but again, I'm not sure about Liquid at the moment. They have amazing moments and then not so amazing moments, so we'll see. I think they'll be stronger in playoffs this time around though, so yeah, watch out for that. Group D, Oxygen against Endpoint next. Well, the first round in the Group D. I think this is going to be a sweep. Endpoint looking pretty good though. I'm impressed with Crispy as well, especially. So I think they got the potential to take some games here in this group, but I think Oxygen are going to sweep that one. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. Endpoint are going to take a game. I completely changed my mind on the spot there, but yeah. German Amigos, formerly Evil Geniuses, against Sonics. Sonics looking pretty good actually. This is a pretty tough group, to be fair. So is Group C. I mean, they're all tough groups, you know, but yeah. German Amigos against Sonics. German Amigos look really solid. Sonics look good. So I'm gonna give them 2 games here, but German Amigos are gonna take that win. Oxygen against Sonics next up. Oxygen have crazy offense, right? But they have been prone to dropping matches. I am gonna have them winning it. I think they'll overpower Sonics. But I am gonna have it going to 5. German Amigos against Endpoint next. I think Amigos will sweep that. They look like a really solid team. I was really impressed with the last time they played in Regional 1. And because of that, I'm going to have a little bit of an upset here. And have the German Amigos beating Oxygen in the round 3 matchup. And then Sonics beating Endpoint in that round 3 match there. Yeah, tough because I've gone 0-3 for Endpoint. They probably could take a game, but I just think the other teams around them are a bit too solid for that, honestly. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I hope they prove me wrong, as I always say. But yeah, let's just quickly recap. Group A, Carmine Cup, G1, Solar Tsar in that order. Group B, Moist at the top. BDS, Quadrant, and Tundra going out 0-9 in games. Can only apologise. Group C, Vitality, Williams, Resolve, Team Liquid, and Much Delight. And Group D, German Amigos, Oxygen Esports, Sonics, and Endpoint. Okay, let's move on to the playoffs then. So here we go. The round 1 best of 5 matches in the playoffs have generated. And the first match, we have BDS against Sonics. This is a tough one because Sonics could definitely cause an upset here, but I think BDS are going to be a little bit stronger this time around. So I do think they've got enough to beat Sonics. They've got enough, but I'm going to have it going to 5. I do think it will be close. Williams Resolve against Solary next. I think the Williams boys have got that one. Oh, it's tough actually because Solary do pretty well against Williams, I must admit. I think, have they got the better of them recently? I do like the way Resolve have been lately. They've hit a bit of form, so I'm going to stick with that and go 3-1. G1 against Team Liquid. This is a tough matchup. This is a really hard matchup. Two quite even teams here, to be honest. I do fancy Liquid in playoffs. I think they're decent when it comes to playoff matches. So, it's hard to say G1 are going to go out in round 1 though. It's hard to say either team's going to go out in round 1 in playoffs. Oh, look, I was leaning towards Liquid, so we're going to go with that for the El Splashico matchup here in the quarterfinals against Moist. And then the final round 1 playoff match, Oxygen against Quadrant. For me, Oxygen have just got a little bit too much for Quadrant. We'll give a game to Quadrant, but yeah, I think Oxygen are pretty comfortable there. Okay, quarterfinals then. Best of 7 matches, of course. Karmine Corp against BDS. Again, would love BDS to make a run. I really would, straight into the final, but they got Karmine Corp in the quarterfinals, and yeah, you know, it speaks for itself really. Yeah, I will have that 4-2 actually. We'll stick with that. German Amigos against Williams Resolve in the next match in the quarterfinals. For me, the Amigos too strong. For the Resolve boys, 4-1. Moist against Liquid, like I said, El Splashico matchup. Again, I do think Team Liquid will be pretty good, but I also think Moist are looking very solid. They haven't looked too much, well, they haven't looked too bad since losing Rise. I still think they've looked pretty good, you know. I like the Joyo and Juicy matchup, but I think Astral and Juicy as well linking up very nicely. All 3 of them are linking up pretty nicely, and Joyo looks like he's got a bit more, how can I put it? It seems like he's got a bit more space to do what he wants, Joyo. I feel like he's got a bit more freedom, and I like that. You need Joyo to have a bit of freedom on the field if you want the results, you know. I think he still could be the key player for that team, but they've got all 3 of them are absolutely amazing players. Next up, Vitality against Oxygen. I fancy Vitality here. I'm not even going to question it. I think Vitality are going to beat Oxygen in the quarterfinals. I think Vitality look really strong. I genuinely believe that. Semi-final matchups. Karmine Corp against German Amigos. This is where it gets really hard because I think the Amigos look really good and they could definitely dismantle a team like Karmine Corp. Do Karmine Corp do a Gen G and just say, no, we are the best team in this region and we're going to go all the way and win it? Okay, I think this is going to upset a few people, but we're going to go for a little bit of an upset here. I've made up my mind. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I did this last time. I put for the NA Regional 1 predictions. You may remember that I had Furia and Complexity in the final, and I got one of those teams right. Complexity did make it to the final. They didn't win. I did have them winning, but they didn't, unfortunately. So I'm going to do this again here. Have a little bit of an upset. Again, I did have Gen G not making the final in NA, and now I've got Karmine Corp not making the final in EU. I might be shooting myself in the foot once again, but we'll see. Again, these are my predictions. So yeah, my opinion. Moist against Vitality in the next game. I was really impressed with the way Vitality played in the first split, and I think they're going to continue that form, and I think they're going to make another final. They're going to be pushing for a spot at the major, of course. I don't know how close they will be. We'll look afterwards. The final here then, against German Amigos for Vitality. German Amigos against Vitality in the grand final. Who's it going to go to? I'm going to have it going to 7, and I'm going to have Vitality winning it in the final. They're going to be fighting hard. They're fighting for a major spot. Remember that. Okay? Karmine Corp, yes, they want to win everything, but they're pretty secure at the top at the moment. It's hard. It's hard. I know Karmine Corp and I know Vatira will want to win everything no matter what. He does not care. I get that. But I've gone for a little bit of an upset here. German Amigos Vitality final. Vitality winning it. Let's have a look how it will affect the points then. The RLCS points. So here we are. Overall, it would move Vitality up to 5th here, which means it puts them in a spot to make the next major. Obviously, they've got another regional as well in between this Winter Cup and the major. As you can see, they've got the Winter Invitational and then the Winter Major. But it puts them 5th. So they have jumped up. Same with the Amigos. They've also jumped up as well above Quadrant. So yeah, interesting stuff. Quadrant have dropped significantly here with the way I have my results going. And then obviously just the Winter Split itself puts Vitality at the top above Carmine Corp. So yeah, this is how I've got it going. And I fully believe Vitality are going to be strong. They're going to keep their form up. Again, they're pushing for the major spot. They want to secure their major spot. This puts them in 5th. They are a team that we want to see at the major. We want to see Team Vitality back at the major, surely. We all want to see that. Whether you're NA or EU, you want to see this team there. It's the same with NRG. Whether you're EU or NA, you want to see them at the majors. Let me know what your guys' predictions are. I do like hearing what the viewers have to say about their predictions and who they have winning. So yeah, do let me know in the comments below what your predictions are. Do you think mine are a little bit crazy? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, let me know. I like to have the conversation in the comments. If people have difference of opinion, that's good. I like that. I welcome that. It's good interaction. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like and a comment, like I said. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to check out my other videos, go ahead and do so. And if you enjoy the videos, then do subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all very soon.